You know, honestly, lately Star Wars fans have really been driving me crazy. I've been enjoying the Ahsoka show for, over a month now, and I've enjoyed making content on the channel in regards to the show. But man, some people in this fandom have been such a buzzkill. Everywhere I turn, someone is complaining about the littlest things in the show. Hell, some of these things are just outright dumb and ridiculous. I've seen this in the comment sections of my videos too, and I try having civil discussions with some of these people, and my opinions get made fun of, and all of these people respond with arrogance. I get why people have an attitude problem with Disney Star Wars. I used to be one of them. I still am, actually. I have had issues with a lot of the content that has come out during Disney's reign, but at the end of the day, I am a fan at heart. I give every piece of content a chance. I watch things from start to finish. Even the stuff I didn't like, such as Kenobi or the Book of Boba, I still found things to enjoy. Sadly, there are many people out there that just want to hate 24/7, and they will ruin the experience for you by talking shit to you and making fun of your enjoyment and your opinions. I am also amazed by these super high, lofty standards and expectations that people have put in place in order for them to enjoy a show. Like, there's these ridiculous requirements that Dave Filoni and every other writer and producer has to abide by in order for these picky people to enjoy the content. And honestly, some of these people are just flat out hypocrites too. So today's video will simply be me reacting to the stupidity I've seen in the fandom recently and how brutal people have been, and also just talk about some of my interactions with people in the comment sections as I've tried to debate and have conversations. Part of the reason why I started this channel was to build a community and communicate with people and have discussions, whether we agree on things or not. So let's get on with it. I first want to start off by being fully transparent. I was once, and still kinda am, one of those fans that has been super critical of Disney Star Wars. I still am upset to this day that they botched the sequel trilogy. That's a wound that's never gonna go away. And I also was not a fan of the way they wrote some of the shows for, say, the Book of Boba, Kenobi, and even Mandalorian Season 3. I have made 22 Star Wars related videos on this channel so far, and quite a few of them contain critical discussion. But I have always tried to be fair and balanced in my discussions. I take pride in being one of the few YouTubers out there that is honestly balanced, not overly positive, but also not negative 24/7 about whatever it is I'm talking about. Now, before I go any further, let me just say this. If you don't like Ahsoka, that's fine. You don't have to agree with my take on Dave Filoni being the guy that should be in charge. And if you're completely done with Star Wars, that's also fine. You're allowed to feel the way you do about the franchise. I'm not going to stand on a pedestal and say that, well, people have to like these things and, they have to go with what I say. Because apparently some people got offended in my last video of me literally just saying I don't want to be a toxic asshole. I didn't call anybody a toxic asshole. I said I don't want to be one. And yet some people got real upset over that. My problem is some people are just being a bunch of jerks and are taking things too far. I truly am shocked that there are so many people out there that hate Ahsoka. I'm actually confused. Dave Filoni is really, in my opinion, the guy that knows Star Wars best outside of George. He's the one that created this show. The show has had plenty of action, especially with lightsabers and some ship combat and all this other stuff. Every episode has had some kind of action scene for the most part. It's been entertaining. And we're getting plenty of world building lore, both old stuff and new stuff. It's cool how they're taking stuff out of books and other lore elements that haven't been seen on screen before, or showing more with the Night Sisters and whatnot after we've seen a little bit of them in previous content. We have Jedi, we have conflicted dark side users, we have Night Sisters, like I said, we have live action Thrawn and so on. And there's a lot of cool stuff in this show. Personally, I think this is the one show that truly feels like Star Wars, even more than Mando, Boba, Kenobi, and Andor. Yet sadly, people find things they dislike about this show and they perseverate on it. People still can't get over the fact that Sabine survived the stab wound. People can't get over the fact that for like a minute, a punk rock song played in the very beginning of the show. People think Thrawn is fat. Then people either enjoy Hera for having a nice butt, or they think she's terrible cosplay. Oh, and do you remember the beginning of the show when Baylan and Shin were kicking New Republic ass on the ship? Well, people actually dislike it because they claim Dave was just being a copycat because we already had a Vader hallway scene in Rogue One and Darth Maul had one in the Clone Wars. So, we can't have that again? We can't have fun? When did Star Wars fans forget how to have fun? Why is everything being taken so freaking seriously? Why are we looking over everything with a fine-tooth comb? Why did people raise their standards so high? All of a sudden, the expectations for a show are so high that if it's not Oscar and Emmy worthy in every single aspect of it, they're not going to watch it, they're not going to like it. Here's one example. People are mad that Ahsoka does not act like she did in the past, and I know I've repeated some of this stuff in other videos, but I have to bring it up again for the sake of examples. There's literally a whole list of reasons why Ahsoka acts different in this compared to other shows. She's a middle-aged person at this point in the timeline. Her master turned to the dark side and ruined everything. He became a monster who killed men, women, and children. She was forced out of the Jedi Order. She has lost people close to her. She's been hunted down by Inquisitors. She's basically haunted by her tragic past. And I hate being a gatekeeper in Star Wars, but I'm going to be one here. Some of the people that I was conversing with in the comment sections of some of my videos, specifically the Dave Filoni one that I came out with recently, a lot of these people that were critical admitted that they have not watched Rebels, but yet they claim to know why something is off in Ahsoka. This show is literally a continuation of Rebels. If you have not watched the show and you're coming out here and claiming that something is wrong or bad and bitching about the show, how do you do that? How is your opinion valid? One person I was chatting with said Sabine still acts like an angsty teen, and that is wrong because one, she's a Mandalorian, and he also claimed to have heard that she supposedly grew up and matured throughout the Rebels show. This same person just admitted to me that they did not watch the show. So how do you know? How is your opinion valid? Did you just watch a TikTok or some other video from another content creator that is clearly making content to diss the show or the franchise as a whole? Because there's a lot of that out there. It's either we're overly positive defending everything, or we're just making negative content 24/7 on our channels. Look, I don't expect to force people to watch all of Rebels, but at least watch and read some summaries of the show so you have an understanding of what's going on and where we are at in this timeline of Ahsoka. And it truly has become a pet peeve of mine to see so many people form their opinions on something solely based off of some TikToks or videos that they watched. I don't think people's opinions are 100% valid if that's all they do. If you watched the show and disliked it, I can at least appreciate the fact that you watched it and gave it a chance, and at the end of the day, we can respectfully agree to disagree while we're having a discussion. Another point I want to make about fans not being informed before making their opinions revolves around Dave Filoni. The slander this guy is getting is ridiculous. Filoni is being blamed for the controversial sequel trilogy. He never wrote or directed anything from those 3 movies. All Dave did was work in the art department for episode 7. That's it. Go check his credits. Also, people claim that Dave just flat out stole and ruined content from Timothy Zahn's Thrawn books. That is simply not true. Dave literally revealed earlier this year at Star Wars Celebration that he and Jon Favreau sat down and chatted multiple times with Zahn about Thrawn. I never read the book, so I will not sit here and compare and contrast the differences between the show and the books, but they had meetings to talk about it, so Dave didn't steal anything. Dave probably got some inspiration. It's not his fault that the company decided to eliminate half of what was canon, including a lot of Timothy Zahn's work. People like to say that Dave has ruined George's content, and that he's making the Force female, and that he's using the Force as plot armor. Seriously, all of these things people are complaining about in my comment section about Dave. And it's like, where do people come up with this stuff? Kathleen Kennedy is the one that made the dumb Force is female comment back in 2017. So let's direct the anger and the blame towards the right people, guys. Dave was not even promoted to his current position of really some kind of authority until the middle of 2020. So a lot of the crappy Disney Star Wars did not happen under his watch or even after his promotion. He wasn't the one in charge of shows like The Book of Boba or Kenobi. Realistically, Dave and the rest of Lucasfilm will never make everyone happy, and it's truly nobody's fault because this franchise has been around for decades and there's multiple generations of fans. Everyone has experienced Star Wars differently. Some people, the OG fans that grew up with it from day one back in the 70s and 80s, that's one group. Some people like myself grew up in the prequel era, and the newest fans have grown up with the sequels and the rest of this Disney Star Wars stuff. So everyone is going to have different thoughts and opinions. And again, that is fine. It's actually cool that we can sit around and have tons of debates breaking things down from all these different movies and shows. That's part of the reason why I started this channel. I like to break things down. I like to analyze stuff, hence the name of the channel. but I am really starting to get pissed off at the people that come in here in my comment section and shit on my excitement and bully others engaging in discussions. I'd love to chat with people no matter what side they take, but there's no reason to be a jerk about it. Some people may consider me a fanboy of Dave Filoni since I've been hyping him up and talking about him a lot lately, and that's fine, but I will continue to stand by my opinion that I think Dave needs to be in charge of all of this content, because I think he's the most qualified, and that yes, he truly learned under George Lucas, whether you people want to agree with me or not. He was his right-hand man ever since he was hired to start the animation studio and work on Clone Wars, and George even let Dave go ahead and cook with making the Ahsoka character. So if George trusts Dave, why shouldn't we? A lot of people hate Kathleen Kennedy, and apparently I just learned that Dave has a bunch of haters too. So then here's my question. Who needs to be in charge then? A lot of these people want to see Disney sell the franchise, and I get that, but let's be realistic. They're not going to do that more than likely. So tell me what realistic changes you would like to see. It's a genuine question. This is another discussion that I'd be down to have in the comments if we could just be normal and respectful about it. And I will end with this. I am genuinely confused by the standards and the expectations that these fans have set. I get that the standards and expectations are high and Disney needs to get their shit together, but honestly, what the heck do you people want to see that you don't like in Ahsoka with some of these elements? Like, do you want to see more Andor? Do you want to see more Jedi and Sith stuff? Where in the timeline would you like them to focus? Again, I do think people have some valid concerns and criticism, but honestly, what can they do to make everyone happy? What can they do to at least allow you to sit through an 8-episode freaking show and at least give it a shot, and then 8 weeks later say, yeah, you know what, I liked it, or you know what, I think it's average, or I think it's overrated. People aren't even watching the 8 episodes to form their opinion. They're right away, I hate it, I couldn't watch it, I'm bored, it sucks, this is controversial, blah 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 blah. And you know what, I've seen some people in the comment sections too saying they want to see more Andor, and that's cool and all, but in my opinion, besides the quality writing, acting, and production, I'm honestly asking the question of, what makes it really good Star Wars? Others in the fanbase want to see more of the lore be brought from the novels and the comics and have that put on the big screen. I feel like Ahsoka gave us a combination of both, old and new things that represent the key elements of Star Wars, yet there are some people out here that are so unhappy, all they do is complain about it. People need to just relax and learn to have fun again with this franchise. Check out these shows and give them a chance. If you give it a try and don't like it, then cool. But if you are uneducated on the lore and don't know the backstory of how and why these shows were being made, then stop talking. If you are forming your opinions based off of a few TikToks or videos that are clearly one-sided, then stop talking. If you don't like Star Wars anymore or don't like Ahsoka, that's fine. Just stop attacking everyone that enjoys it. Just move on entirely from the franchise. Stop creating discourse within the fandom. It's fun to discuss and have these debates like I said earlier, but this arrogance and sarcasm needs to go away, and if you truly don't like the way an animated character looks in live action, well, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. You just won't have fun with anything if you're going to be that freaking picky. And to those that hate the nostalgia stuff, you know, bringing back old characters, lore, planets, and whatnot, well, do you like to have fun? Do you not like anything that feels emotional or impactful that includes these old characters that are extremely important to the franchise, like Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker? I just really don't understand some people. Well, something tells me this is going to lead to another interesting comment section, but I welcome those that can have a civil discussion to leave a comment, again, whether you agree with me or you don't. And please feel free to disagree with me and others, but let's be mature about it. Let's have fun with these discussions. I won't hold my breath though. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you do like what you see and hear here, please go ahead and check out the rest of my content on the channel, like and subscribe if you will. Also, go check out my Ahsoka videos and Dave Filoni video to get more of an understanding of where I'm coming from, and go look at those comment sections. Also, you can find my content on podcasting platforms. Just Google Analyze This Podcast. You'll find me basically on any of the podcasting platforms. You can also find me on X and TikTok, X at AnalyzeThis_YT, and TikTok at AnalyzeThis54_YT. Thanks again, and take care.